Alright, so this post is The Diamond of Perfection from April 20th, 2014. And I wrote this like I published it 2 days after I went to the Harry Ransom Center in Austin, and like where you can go and select like whatever. They have a bunch of Crowley's documents basically, and you can select which ones to like have them bring out, and then you can look at them on a table and take pictures. And it's like his original writings, which is odd because they have like the Gerald York collection, which is in England, I believe, or London, or where, no, the UK. And I found it interesting because he actually talks about this diamond with a dot and the secret of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Uh, Makes me think of Liber 888 or the Gospel according to George Saint uh, Saint George Bernard Shaw. That's a long title, but there's all these these were these like cardboard Enochian square things. He had these wax seals. Some of them were broken. It was odd because like you could kind of like steal some of this shit. So I kind of don't like how they let people just anybody. Like all you have to do is watch a 15-minute like introduction video when you come in, and then you have full access to Crowley's documents. And I wouldn't be surprised if people have like pilfered papers, but it was actually I got sick. I got sick afterwards when I left here. I don't know what it was. If it was like Crowley's negative energy, or if it was the fact that these papers may have been touched by who knows who. But I got sick, and I ended up having to, I was sick all the way home, and it's just weird. All these, let's see, yeah, it was like this was a little diary he had. He had made drawings, and here's a temple. He had notes and letters, and it was actually pretty cool, even though I got even though I got sick afterwards. Um, but yeah, the Ascent unto Doth. This poem. This is that journal, I believe. He had little drawings, doodles. And I actually didn't time this to be Aleister Crowley's birthday when I'm reading this, but I noticed it actually last night, and I was like, holy fuck. Proper timing. Matrix. So yeah, there's a lot of things here, so it's odd because like I did all like similar things. Like I made all these little Kabbalistic notes and patterns and in my own journals, and then I come to find this in his. That's interesting, the 13s. I know I'm reading it backward. I don't know why I do that. Sometimes I read shit backwards. I'm not dyslexic, but like I'll even look at books backwards, and I don't know. It gives you a different perspective on things. Hmm. Trying to zoom in, not scroll like that. Holy shit. 361 plus 361 is 722. Adonai Haaretz. Hearts. These are weird drawings. So yeah, pretty interesting to me, at least. I like looking at this stuff. More 13s. Alright. Anyway, let's get to this. I put the full card here because obviously he's holding the diamond. The 0 I've pretty much went into a lot. 420 is symbolic in a lot of ways. 420 especially, being the Ein Sof, Ein Sof Or, with spelled as An, basically the 70 times 6, which has like all these geometrical connections. The with the Tau, babe, like the babe in the egg, connects with all this, and the heart in these cycles or circles, the timeline, if you want to call it, the toroid. He's holding this diamond. You could say it's water, like, or ice, but then fire and ice. There's a lot to all of this. Typhon or Sobek down here. And you can see with his shoes, he's very much a sort of clown or a joker or jester. Aleph is Aleph Lamed Pei, or 1 plus 30 plus 80, or 111 in regular gematria, or simple Hebrew. And 1 plus 30 plus 800, or when Pei has its final value of 800. Aleph is the ox and the fool. You know, it's attributed to the ox. Lamed is the ox goad. Basically that, which is funny because the Libra symbol is that whole ox goad. Notice the O and the X, which when conjoined creates the mark of the beast. And Kenneth Grant talks about that in Aleister Crowley and the Hidden God, and the whole book Dark Doorway of the Beast. And so geometrically, it's also, again, the swastika, which is 666, and what that represents, which is that sort of axis mundi in the fulcrum, the magnetic energy center, the 17th kala, 666 being the 256, which is 16 times 16. So again, like the Scarlet Woman being 667, that one-up thing, that one-up factor, kolel, basically in Hebrew, is that driving force, basically, of the kundalini. It's like the kundalini, the Shakti, or Shiva and Shakti, really. The whole bit factor and that resonance between, which creates the electrical. It's not just the triangle, but again, the diamond, which slowly we'll get into, this sort of unfoldment, the Kabbalistic emanation, or the chain reaction from the absolute. The actual Hebrew word for fall, which sounds phonetically similar to fool, is afel, or aleph pei lamed. A tamura, or rearrangement, or metathesis, all these, there's different terms, but it's the same thing, of aleph. Note also the possible fall with a ph, or p-a-l, fall. And pal is pal, and of course, not in this card, but the older tarot cards has the dog following him, and it's like Orion and Sirius, if you think about it, and some have said, and the pal, or man's best friend, the dog, and that sort of, all these like little motifs. That's why there's, I don't know, there's just Kabbalistic correspondences, both in like these legends and mythologies, but as well as how they kind of play out in reality, or that's why these myths have a reality, and it's like I don't know, just recurs in different people's lives in different ways. Afel, or APL, is also the apple, which has long been known as the fruit of the fall. The apple is related to Venus, carrying her sign, the sign of man, the 5-pointed star in the center. The secret center, which again, in the Book of the Law, Nuit and the star with the dot in the center, comes to mind. 111 is also the number of Om, a form of Om as AUM, or OM, the two different spellings basically put together, so it's another veil. Connected with the lotus, and again with Vav, is 111, and that symbolizes this unfolding, and again the bolt, the white light, the sound, or san, which I believe is actually a sort of Eastern, or like Chinese, or I forget where the origin is. San is like the root of sound of the universe. So again, vibration. Achad, Hava, Alhim, God is one. One is 1 and 3, 3 and 1, 13, which suggests 1331, is 111, and is also Pla, or play, a title of Kether, meaning wonder, miracle, or marvel. 111 is also spiral, Chiluzny, spiral, heliacal, turbinate, referring to the spiral motion of the element air descending from Kether. Notice also the spirals around the Fool, signalizing the path he takes in his trip or fall. So, also light, and through time, has that sort of spiral nature to it. In Sefer Sephiroth, Crowley has Yavahe, Adonai, passwords of what? The gods, the great old ones, i.e. the angels, or angles, 111, 222, 333, 444, 555, 666, 777, 888, 999. Hence the Greek Ania, 9, is 111, and Halexi, or the word in Greek, 111. And that's another form of, logos, but lex, or lexicon. Oikia, or Oikia, house, also fits in, since each triple number is a house of energy. It is a chamber of the Kabbalah of 9 chambers, or a treasure house, like the treasure house of images. For God knows that in the day you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Genesis chapter 3, verse 5. Both of the Hebrew words for vision, sight, chosnim, and appear, emerge, megichim, also equal 111. This is the spontaneous emergence of consciousness from the void or Ain. This symbolism is connected with the dragon, for the root of the dragon is Durkesthai, vision, sight, to see clearly. And again, remember how the dragon is attributed to the number 0. The chambers of 111 through 999 signifies the rising Kundalini becoming the dragon when it opens its eyes. Kether is in Malkuth, and Malkuth is in Kether, but after another manner. 111 is also alchemy in Hebrew letters with a kaf, the synthesis of the many into one. A relevant Hebrew word is kavah, which means to collect or bind, as well as wait, hope, or expect. This is the process of the 1 through 9 growing from the 0 and gestating to be born in Malkuth, 10. Another interesting one here is la ovid, Hebrew for not yet, referring to that which is yet to occur. This seems to refer to the state of existence before, having achieved its nirvanic state of pure being, thus signifying the initial state of the 111 on the scale of 111 through 999. Olia, or Ayin Lamed Yad Aleph, or the Most High, must emanate in planes or stages, for being so pla, miraculous or wonderful. It must set boundaries of differentiation so as not to be invisible to itself and its components and fall back into afal, the thick darkness. It must wear a masava, or veil or mask, so to speak. Thus, God is one, though the infinite complexity of its oneness causes it to appear as many. 111 shows the rays which Mavlil shine from Kether, the point. Thus, Nakiel or Nakiel is the angel of the sun, or Leo, in the sign of Leo, the middle ray descending to Tifereth. I just so happened to be born with the sun in the sign of Leo, and another name of an angel assigned to Leo according to Grant is Ma'ayan. However, this angel exercises dominion over the planet Saturn, or the Saturnian aspect of Leo, that of the time aspect, the ring, whereas Nakiel is the point or Bindu, or I, the space dimension aspect. And these symbols can be seen to reverse or interplay. Ma'ayan is then the ion of Ma, the matrix, i.e. the orb of the Kurla cell. And Nakiel is the 111, or the triangle, raying into space-time. And St. Samek Teth 69, or Shin Teth 309 is Set, or the fire snake with the tunnels and the timelines and all that. The 111 shines as a light in the afal, or thick darkness. They are, however, two ends of the same spectrum, as past and future are perceived as two ends of the same spectrum, even though they are really one. The light and the darkness are connected. Lucifer is the light bearer and the prince of darkness. He lost his crown in the fall. The fool and Lucifer are the same thing. You are Lucifer, just as you are Jesus. In the light there is no difference. All is I, or one. However, all is I, one. And again, one I is also 10, Yod, or in English 9. So it's the astral light, basically incarnated. However, in the thick darkness, all is separate in Chosek, darkness, 333. The light is as if in a mirror reflecting itself infinitely. Well, finitely, really. Infinite. The lux and the nox, yang and yin, reverse like a checkerboard, becoming indistinguishable. And here we see Mavlal, meaning mad, madman, fool, to make a fool of, to flash forth, to shine, boast, praise, or be worthy of. The light is your own light. The dark is your own dark. And I put Salvador Dali because he's got this infinity symbol, and Salvador Dali was born in 1904, the year Crowley initiated the Aeon of Horus. And outside the circles of time, I believe it's chapter 3, he gets into the... Kenneth Grant gets into the work of Salvador Dali, but he also refers to it, I believe, in the Ninth Arch. The number 111 shows the past, present, and future, as well as the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep states, as signalized by the Om, the spark, the womb eye, and the deep waters or abyss. Once again, if you connect all this with the above, An intricate and close connection can be seen. The expansion of the universe in the form of light is numerically encoded in our language, and it's really in the languages, or really the mathematics which our languages utilize. Hence, again, we see halexi, the word 111. In Hebrew English gematria, 111 is the value of love. See Crowley's essay on love in Little Essays Toward Truth. 111 is also Malkuth. This is the universe which the fool falls into when wearing his mask, i.e. being incarnate on earth, Malkuth. So literally it is the expansion and the source code and all that. But source code is 666, so there is this connection. Obviously 111 times 6 is 666, but you'd have to look at this whole expansion and see that basically there's some connection between 111 and 999 and everything in between, in which, I don't know, there's something to do with time and all that, but I don't claim to know fully. I'm still working it out, but 111 is also the suffix Qtub, meaning point, which Andrew Chumley has that poetic sort of magical text, Qtub, meaning point, pole, or axis, signifying a point of focus, or your axis mundi in Malkuth, in your connection to Kether. Interestingly, in my Gematria database, I also found Makin, or Makin, to locate, identify, pinpoint, military, 111 or 761. This may refer to geolocation, and it makes it even further more interesting that the phrase V2K, spelled out, also equals 111. Since that is the common name for voice-to-skull sonic weaponry. As let's not forget the ominous NSA, which is, Termura or metathesis of San, is 111. This makes the previous San sound and Mavlal, or mad, even more relevant, since V2K literally uses sound to drive people mad. Which there's different types. There's the active denial, there's acoustic heterodyne, there's synthetic microwave, or RF hearing. There's multiple proposed systems, basically, as to whether... I don't really believe that it's being as pervasively utilized as some people claim. I believe it is probably being used experimentally on a wide range of subjects, but I don't think that we can claim that every little thing is this, or that's the thing, is it's a very muddy, watery territory. So, but if you really look into it, and you, especially the geometric or geometric aspects of this, there is some links that I think are worth looking at. So let's keep going. The Hebrew word makin for pinpoint, locate, and identify is especially significant since this technology can be directed to people very precisely. Note again that all the 111s in simple gematria are 666 in English gematria, i.e. computer, AI system, the archons, etc. 111 is also Bol Ob, master magician, necromancer, or sorcerer. Bol being, of course, Baal or Lord, and then Ob being the serpent itself. The one who has realized this and brought it out to show the world and teach those who are worthy to possess this wisdom. In order to hold the spiritual forces of the highest, one must be purified as gold to hold gold, so to speak. Otherwise, you'll lose it. I came across this Hebrew word in my database, Hey Nun Nun Vav, and I translated it on translategoogle.com, which gave me nanoscience. However, in my database it's listed as we, here we are. When I Google it and then translate the page, I get the bolded words nano, particle, nanotechnology. I found that very interesting. I think it refers to the infinitely small particle Kether Hadit, and its triple projection into our three-dimensional perspective. It is then even more significant that the Hebrew word for rise or ascend, Hey Ayin Lamed Vav, also translates as upload, signifying an addition or evolution, and this would be on all levels, one may assume, as well. I mean, all the chambers. So remember the Malkuth part of this. That is the world being born by the daughter, He final function of the Tetragrammaton. Remember from Mayat and Masonry that He final equals 107, the egg, the oval, etc., and therefore it is symbolic of the gestation of the 1 through 9, 111 through 999 in the egg. The He final forms a fourth ray, and the triangle of the 111 turns into a square, and that turns into a diamond when spiritualized or enlightened by the solar Saturnian centering or magnetic energy center activation. 111 is also Ha-Aben Hagedula, the great stone, and Aben Chen, precious stone, gem, or jewel. The dot, or solar symbol, in the diamond signifies the fertilized egg in the womb, and the lion serpent riding the chariot. Crowley switched the cards Lust and Adjustment so that instead of Lust being Atu 8 and Adjustment being Atu 11, they are now reversed in the Thoth Tarot. This rather convolutes things and makes things even more complex, but Lust is now aligned with the 11th degree OTO, and Adjustment is aligned with the 8th degree. The OTO sex magic degrees are as follows: 7th degree Kundalini, 8th degree Masturbation, 9th degree Heterosexual Practice, 10th degree the Sacrament, and 11th degree Homo, Anal, Menstrual, or Clephathic workings. The diamond mentioned above is very important. It is not only connected with the final He and daughter aspect of the Tetragrammaton, but in Atu 8, Mayat is standing within the diamond herself. The Alpha and the Omega come together to form the dot in the circle, or the solar symbol. This diamond is also associated with Harlequin, the feminine aspect of the Fool. Of this card, Crowley says, one must go more deeply into philosophy. The trump represents the woman satisfied. Equilibrium stands apart from any individual prejudices. Therefore, the title in France should rather be Justesse. In this sense, nature is scrupulously just. It is impossible to drop a pin without exciting a corresponding reaction in every star. The action has disturbed the balance of the universe. This woman goddess is Harlequin. She is the partner in fulfillment of the Fool. She is the ultimate illusion, which is manifestation. She is the dance, many-colored, many-wild, of life itself. Constantly whirling, all possibilities are enjoyed. Under the phantom show of space and time, all things are real. The soul is the surface, precisely because they are instantly compensated by this adjustment. All things are harmony and beauty. All things are truth, because they cancel out. She is the goddess Mayat. She bears upon her nemesis the ostrich feathers of the twofold truth. When going through some of Aleister Crowley's diaries, I found a curious mention of this diamond in his 1906 diary. He refers to it on August 5th, saying, "My Revelations book, The Arcanum in the Adytum, image of diamond with dot in midst, or The Secret of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, being a commentary upon the Apocalypse. On the cover, The Secret of Jesus." A copy of the actual document I made is reproduced here to show the diamond, bottom right. A text version of this diary with an analysis can be found here, castletower.org/1906. The Arcanum in the Adytum refers to the sacred ark or ark in the Adytum or holy temple. This not only veils a sexual component, but it can also be understood as referring to the anya or pineal gland, for the diamond veils both the almond, vesica, or egg shape, and that the top, bottom, and left-right points of these figures geometrically form the diamond. Incidentally, my girlfriend at the time had a dream a few weeks ago that she told me about, where she dreamt that she saw my friend and magical colleague Soror 722 with a diamond over her head, much like the characters in the Sims games. My girlfriend had absolutely no knowledge of the work we were doing involving the diamond, and I didn't even think much of it at the time she told me, because I had been thinking of the diamond as merely being either a sideways square or else the actual gemstone-shaped diamond. I wasn't thinking of it as this sort of like elongated, tall diamond. And when she told me that dream, that's when I kind of started seeing this other diamond shape. I mentioned this dream to Soror 722, and she pointed out that she has two forms of the diamond tattooed on her. one being the long, narrow diamond which is on the back of her neck. The number 1331, my name in Hebrew and 11 cubed, can be seen to be connected with the diamond via the diagram shown here. The apex 1 and the three corners of the triangular pyramid reflect thus 1, 3, 3, 1. 1331 is 11 cubed again, showing the triple mirror, or the triple play of doth, or magic, or energy tending to change, etc. Albert Pike veils 1331 in the end of Morals and Dogma, page 861. And as in each triangle of perfection, 1 is 3 and 3 are 1, so man is one, though of a double nature, and he attains the purposes of his being only when the two natures that are in him are in just equilibrium, and his life is a success only when it too is a harmony and beautiful, like the great harmonies of God in the universe. Such, my brother, is the true word of a master mason, such the true royal secret, which makes possible, and shall at length make real, the holy empire of true Masonic brotherhood. The only reason I mentioned the point about my name equaling this highly important phrase, or number, is because obviously I'm the one bringing this information, some of which seems to flow from my higher mind at times, and because I want to exemplify how gematria can be used in the construction of a magical universe that is fully compatible with the many different, though similar, existing magical systems. So basically it helps to have a sort of footing in Malkuth, and a sort of like, like I said before, you kind of have to see how you fit into things to begin. We don't have to, but it helps to. I don't know, like I said, people caution against over-personalizing or over-identifying with some of this stuff, but for me, I kind of just looked at like 102 and 1331 and my birth date and all that, and I started seeing it everywhere, and it just helped me to, I guess, slowly unravel these patterns. And I don't see them as like surrounding or revolving around me in any way. I just see myself as yet another, part of history, especially with this particular history, and the fact that it does kind of cluster, like, that's kind of what geometric emergence and manifestation is it's, again, like these chain reactions, and it is causal, but then there are these, I wouldn't even say acausal, but these relations that, people would say, oh, they're unconnected, you're just looking into it. Well, no, they're connected, or the thing is, they're not connected and necessarily like the way in which history repeats and all that. It's like a spiral. It's just that options and cycles and stuff, like nature does repeat, but it's not exactly always the same. It's a little different, but that's the whole thing. It's like there's tendencies, there's habits, there's natural laws, and it's all mathematical, really. And the same with, I think, other phenomena like social and psychological and blah blah blah, like spiritual, even if you want to call it that. They all still fit within this sort of geometrical matrix. And the word matrices, matrices, 333, which again, the 333, which again, the grid number 3. So anyway, the diamond shown above is a double triangular pyramid and differs from the octahedron, since the octahedron has 8 sides instead of 6 when the bases are conjoined like the above. When the figurative I is awakened within this structure, the number 1331 becomes 1332. Again, that diamond with the dot in the center, which is 666 plus 666, the double beast, or the double-headed dragon or phoenix. 1331 is the number of the biblical verse, and they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. Genesis chapter 37, verse 19. The dreamer awakened, the one, or I, becomes the Leo, Canubis, lion, serpent, Canubis in Greek, which is 1332, the coiled serpent, or the beast of Revelation, in Masonic or Jewish gematria. The dreamer is the 11 cubed, the eye of God, dreaming of itself. A self, 102, is equivalent to anatma, not self. In the Genesis 37:19 verse, the dreamer is Bol, or Baal, once again, and equals 102. That is the simple gematria of my 13-lettered name. On the page 102 of The Ninth Arch by Kenneth Grant, reference is made to the true name of Satan and quotes page 102 of Morals and Dogma, where is given the true name of Satan as the reversed name of Yod-He-Vav-He. It should be noted that 102 veils the formula of Satan or the devil, and that 102 is 51 plus 51, and 51 is the reverse of 15, containing both the duality and reversal formulas. 102 is the magic child, the human 102, who is receiving the transmissions from La and materializing them into Al via Ma, or Mem, the blood of man. Mayan, the great magician, is gathering moon ions that flash from the vesica He final. This is the formula of Lamal and the gathering of the egg, 11, Doth, knowledge, per cycle of 13, 1 through 13 being 91, the number of man. Remember the reverse of 19, Eve. Going into the mother to be born again, you get a new life, and then the earth is covered with wonderful flowers. And bees come to the flowers to get honey to store, and the honey is stored elixir. See Liber 729. 1332 or 1332 is also Ha Theosophica et Eterea. 1332 is also Ha Theosophica Eterea, the Theosophical Society, the organization that was founded by Helena Blavatsky the same year, 1875, that Aleister Crowley, the great beast, 666, was born. But one cometh after him, in Hebrew-English gematria, is 1332. These triangles come together to form the Merkaba chariot. And as has been shown in previous posts, this is the blending of the triangle of water with the triangle of fire, thus equaling Mayat. Just as when the diamond eye of the dragon opens when the dot is illumined, so does the Merkaba activate from the hexagram when the inner spark is active. That inner spark is a point which projects as a line or dimension, adding depth to the 2D hexagram. Thus, we also see 442 is the Sun plus Saturn, which again signifies the dual polarity, which is the balance of Mayat. 1331 is a Tamura of 1313, the Eon of Mayat, and the connections are now apparent. The double triangle is also the AA, and the silver star is formed when these two come together as one. The two triangles of the hexagram are generally attributed to the human and the divine, and their conjunction in the hexagram are representative of the great work, says Dionysius Theriambos in Esoteric Geometry. The work of the ages also equals 1331 when Kaf is given its final value of 500. The same thing as the great work. The diamond of perfection is the open third eye of the 33rd degree, all of which equal 1103, or 1103. I guess I meant to say the triangle and I don't really know what I was trying to say here, but the triangle and the triangle of the 3 and the 3 merge to become the diamond, and then the hexagram, I guess, in this case as well. The secret eye also equals 1103, and the verse of chapter 37, verse 19 of Genesis mentioned above happens to be number 1103 as well, veiling the fact that 11 times 3. Elizabeth Van Buren, in her book, The Secret of the Illuminati, says that the number 33 is symbolic of the third eye projecting inward and outward, the double sight. We also find the morning star, the name of Lucifer, and Jesus as the bringer of light or vision. And again, Derkesthai, the dragon. Another play on words relevant to the above about Aleph or Afal is that we also find Pla or play, the Leela or play of life, existence itself. If one has actually kept up thus far and hasn't noticed, look in the right hand of the Fool on Atu 0. He is holding the diamond. However, he most likely doesn't realize he is possessing this. He appears to be entranced, mad, or daydreaming. The light is descending from above down towards his crown. The spirals around the Fool, which his will follows as assigned by the arrow in caduceus, come together over his heart and form a heart shape. The heart and mind are aligned as seen by the same radiant colors in both areas. The sun being over his genitals signifies his virility and vigor, and it is in the center of the card just as A is at the center of Tifereth. In the beginning, the Fool was lost in the delusions of his lower self. After finding himself in the universe, being crucified on the cross of matter and reborn in spirit, he then begins to go back up the higher crest from the lower trough of the spiral of life. He is dancing around the edge of the void. Now that he has gotten better at not falling, and his foundations are deeper than just the ground he stands on, he is surrounded by his aura and not even standing on any ground. He is floating, flying, levitating above the crocodile Sobek in Amenta. Aleph, in full, the full Fool, is 831. This is the number of the 7 chakras, which when the Fool has went around the circles or wheels, has ignited the chakras inside the 0, which is also 831. 831 is also macrocosmos in Greek, the macrocosm, or higher above, as opposed to the lower Aleph 111 below. And relevant to the above about the diamond or pyramid, we also have pyramis or pyramis, the pyramid, as 831 in Greek. 831 is also Frater Achad with a tau, the adept of the AA who discovered the key of Liber AL, and who Crowley accepted as his magical child prophesied in that book. Frater Achad had the book Liber Aleph, or 111, the Book of Wisdom or Folly, dedicated to him, and it is significant that later reports of Achad were that he went mad or insane from his obsession over his magical work, attributed to his taking of the Oath of the Abyss before he was duly prepared. Kenneth Grant has done much to show that his work can very much be seen to be useful and interesting, and I have done much on my own to show even more can be seen if but one has the patience to look and the background necessary to understand. The eon is still unfolding, and there are still many ions of Ma to be shed and gained. People are beginning to discuss these concepts more and more, and I would like to share a link to a fellow Mayashan's podcast where he discusses his stumbling upon the original document of Achad's announcement of the Ma-ion. Here is the link to The Bob Show, episode 30. 31 is indeed the key, for if you add 30 to 620, Kether, Truth, you get 651, Yahalem, Diamond, and the key to AL-II 76. I have already mentioned that 76 plus 31 is 107 as well. As Achad showed, the Eon of Horus and Maat form the double current of the age of Aquarius. 651 is also the number of Daleth Nun Aleph, or DNA in full, as well as pillars, the twin pillars, which the DNA helix is a part of, or the Ob and the Odd, and the cube of space, the twin pillars of the universe. All of these things are closely connected with the Eon of Maat, and these formulas have many uses for various technology, which again, plus data, 15 is 666. Another fascinating point that adds another dimension to this 111 thing is that since Aleph is the ox, and the ox veils the OX, this is known as the mark of the beast, and it is the same symbol as that of Malkuth, the earth or physical plane. The X signifies the cross of matter, the 4 directions and the 4 elements. The original form of Tau, the cross, was an X shape. In Greek, this is Chi, or Chi. These are the 4 watchtowers of the universe which open 2 ways, outward through the gate of Malkuth, or inward towards the crown. On the other side of the gate of Malkuth lies the Sitra Ara, or literally the other side. Sitra Ara has a value of 1111, showing the 4 broken up lines of the X. 1111, or 1111, is also the iota in Greek, I. I is the 5th element of the 4, Akasha, and it is this spiritual fire that Prometheus brought down from the Empyrean world to man. This is the same idea as the fall, when the serpent gave Eve the forbidden fruit of gnosis, or knowledge, or doth. If you subtract the 4 rays from 111, you get 107, the egg, Bitsa, oval, Ma-ion, the magic egg. 107 is the Greek meden, meaning 0, and in Hebrew English gematria, 0 literally equals 4 as 282, so the X gates open onto the void by dropping out, as it were, leading to the He final, the gold egg of the Hamsa or swan. And 107 is bubbles and XYZ. It's got this dimensional quality to it, or interdimensional really. 107 is pure Akash consciousness, or Ulam, and its quality is bliss, or Ananda. This is all relevant and harkens back to what Kenneth Grant says in the Ninth Arch, page 112. The reader who has traveled thus far in these Typhonian trilogies will know that the oracle, or the number 107, veils the key to a ritual which opens the gates between these directions or dimensions of space. Assembling correctly the pieces of this puzzle reveals a potent formula for opening the gates of the individualized consciousness continuum. But there are extreme dangers attendant upon such an opening, because the spaces, which are not empty, beyond the Akasha Tattva, or Akasa Tattva, could flood the continuum to a scale of cosmic dimensions. Again, it's like the subconscious dwarving, or appearing monstrous in comparison to the so-called ego, or conscious. I am unique and conqueror. I am not of the slaves that perish. Be they damned and dead. Amen. This is of the four. There is a fifth who is invisible, and therein am I as a babe in an egg. A.L. chapter 2, verse 49. The hidden door, Daleth, or fourth ray of 111, opens on to the 107, and thus the fifth part, which is invisible, really is an egg, the magic egg, the egg of Mu, and the egg of Doth. 107 is also Aku, the Egyptian Aku, meaning magic. Amalantra said that the egg was to be found in Egypt, and I have also shown that 107 also equals Egypt. Amalantra also said that a small golden key would be found inside the egg, and I have noted numerous times that gold equals 107 as well. 107 is also the number of Majan David, or the Star of David, the six-pointed star, associated with Amsu, the risen or resurrected Horus. The hexagram is associated with the numbers 6, 66, and obviously 666. And therefore the egg veils the hexacontalitho, or 60 stone, the stone of Itzaxar, since the four open up to the new Mayat space. 107 is also alien egg, showing the Qliphothic connection, as well as Pazuzu, the demon of plagues, and Iblis, the Islamic form of Satan. The egg of the fool then opens inward, opening his 107 egg spirit body so that it can then become an O, or Ayin, Anya, or I. The eye of the dragon, situated where Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malkuth join, opens inward toward Tiferet from Malkuth. Together Tiferet, which is 1081, and Malkuth, 496, equals 1577, the number of Ein Sof, the limitless, the intermediary zone between Ein and Ein Sof Or, which is basically the infinite. As opposed to absence, Ein Sof is pure infinite existence, which I guess I meant to say which is what the 107 is, or represents. 1577, 1577, or Tiferet and Malkuth conjoined is also the number of the squaring of the circle. So that's funny, the circle and the square, which is done when the four are subtracted from the 111, which gives the egg. The square is Malkuth and the circle is the sun. Their union dissolves all into the ocean of the bliss of pure consciousness, Ein Sof, 1577, the enlightened I, Metatron in full. Ein Sof, for the 00, can also be seen as the infinity symbol since it means the infinite or boundless. This is the perfection alluded to by Achad and Grant as the Eon of Mayat. The perfect Ion is the Bindu, or Hadit, which has fully satisfied Nuit. Hence Crowley's assertion that Atu 8, or adjustment, signifies the woman satisfied. Connected with the perfection, 438, we have Aben Shalima, the whole or perfect stone, which Achad had used in his calculations of the Ma Nefestat Ion of the Eon of Mayat. When God, or Yod, 20, and Satan, Iwas, 418, are unified, the magic power of the Chi, Cheth Yod, 418 plus 20, becomes available. God plus Satan equals 438, the perfection. As does Mayan, spelled in full, the great magician who is the double-wanded one, 331, Aish Bachata, the man of Zin, with his egg, or Majan David, 331 plus 107 being 438. Note that Zin is Zain, the sword, and 7 is the number of Set, and Zin is the name for an ancient lunar deity. The sword, 7, and the moon, 100, veil the egg of spirit, 107. Mayat is the goddess of the truth and the judge of the soul in Amenta. Note that soul, 1, in Amenta, 106, is 107. Or it's also the 1, or that spark, in Nun, the fish, the whole fish swallowing Osiris's phallus, symbolic too. Truth has no boundaries. It is ultimately the same thing as God. Mayat is the goddess that rules mortals and immortals and all numbers. The root of Mayat is MT, which is the Hebrew word for death or dead. At the point of death, all things bleed together. There is no difference. So too, in the eon of Mayat, or truth, do all boundaries dissolve in Mahapralaya. Mahapralaya is 370, the number of olos in Greek, the root of holon or hologram, all, whole. MT as mem tau equals O holos, or the whole. 440 is also the egg, 107, in the nest, 333, Silba. One more than 440 gives 441 the number of Ameth, truth in Hebrew, as in the Sigillum Dei Ameth, or the sigil of truth. 441 is also another form of my name, as well as Decatria, or Decatria, 13, my number. 441 is also 21 times 21, the fullness of all the paths in the full 0. Every number is infinite, there is no difference. AL chapter 1 verse 4. The fool is now the magus, and Horparkrat has become the crowned and conquering child, and with his 1, or activated eye, or more appropriately his phi, pei, or mouth, when he becomes creative, creates a new universe or matrix. 441 plus 1 equals 442, the number of Mayat with a tau. The bird fights its way out of the egg. The egg is the world. Who would be born must first destroy a world. The bird flies to God. That God's name is Abraxas. Hermann Hesse, Endymion. And I gave some links. Let Not My Tears Fall Unnoticed, being The Secret Joys of a Lachrymist by Blair Mackenzie Blake. The Atu of the Book of Thoth, The Fool in Adjustment, Aleister Crowley. Materials for the Study of the Apostolic Gnosis by Frederick Bly Bond and Thomas Simcott Slay. 333333 equals 666, Satanic New World Order Thinking, cuttingedge.org. Merkaba Activation in the number 13, universallighttools.com. Arcana in the Adytum, Mary Kay Greer. Cardinal Grand Cross of 2014, darkstarastrology.com. And I showed that there's an Angel Fire Grimoire which mentions the diamond. Click the picture for the link. And it said the diamond. This is the symbol of God's divine trowel, the building block of the universe from which all things come. It is the DNA blueprint of the primal force upon which everything is built. To burn candles inside the diamond is to summon all energies, although they will not necessarily be in balance. The diamond is not for the novice or neophyte. It is utilized best by the masters and those who know and understand energy. Only those who work with energy on a continual basis, like healers, should attempt candle burning in this arrangement. The diamond layout is used when one wants to create new forms and applications. It is solely for those who have studied intensely and know how to work with energies in their raw and natural states. Do not use the diamond unless you know what you are doing. And I just thought that was kind of funny and odd and ironic, because it was just one of the many things I found regarding this elongated diamond. So yeah, there's that.